Walleyes on big water. What a fine and quite common combination. From the Great Lakes to waters like Winnebago, Wisconsin, to Mille Lacs, Minnesota, and Fort Peck, Montana. And let's not forget Lake of the Woods. One of the hottest of the big waters the last few years has been massive Lake Winnipeg. It's just north of Manitoba's capital city of Winnipeg. The topic this day applies wherever walleyes swim, especially on bigger waters.
Hey, Tom. Oh, look at that baby. So we're out here today. I'm with Gord Pizer and Tom Van Loon. Ooh, take and drag. And we're really capitalizing on these fish migrations, eh, Gord?
Big migratory flats, giant big water and big fish, hopefully.
Yeah.
How's it feel, Jeff?
Feels like it's taking drag a little bit.
Always good ones in
Oh,
nice
my.
one, nice one.
Handy, nice fish. Ooh, cool, thanks, Tom. Boy, those are healthy fish in here, huh?
Are they ever?
Oh, wow, beautiful.
Just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Man, you really hit that buckshot spoon, buckshot rattle spoon too.
Oh,
right?
yeah, boy. They do, and that really calls them in this kind of this flat basin area. Why don't you explain that a little bit, Gord? What we're fishing today?
Miles and miles of very similar stuff, and it's big water, Jeff, and as Tom knows here, we're out on Lake Winnipeg, and it's just so flat and so expansive that they're following schools of baits. So migratory walleye, that's what we're going to talk about today. Eh?
Yeah.
That's a gorgeous specimen.
Yeah, beautiful.
Really
Thank
neat
you.
fish.
Yeah, cool. I tell you, there's all types of baits that just work really well for attracting fish in. And like we're using rattle spoons, horizontal baits. Now, I work those pretty aggressively when there's no fish below me, but as soon as that fish comes in, there's a whole selection of moves that you can do, and you learn how to do that by using electronics. And if the fish come in and they're real aggressive and they come up and slam it, well, there's no need to get too fancy. Hold on to your rod and reel and get ready. But if they're coming in and they're hovering around bottom, you can just shake that bait real softly, and it'll just get that minnow to just rock back and forth. And you'd be surprised if you just stick at it for a couple of minutes and that fish will just hang down there. Eventually, it seems like they just can't resist, so it's just just sit there and keep shaking that rod tip. Try to keep the lure fairly stationary, but it gets that bait moving, and it's just enough to trigger fish if they seem somewhat hesitant to move in and really crush that bait.
Here comes one. There. Jeffy, you can return the favor.
Pin around there. How's it feel, Gord?
Oh, there he is. I'm not used to this shallow water. 3 pumps, 4 pumps of the reel handle.
Great.
Beauty.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
It is.
Just gorgeous fish.
You got using a spoon, huh?
Yeah, well, I saw what you were doing. You were knocking them dead on that.
Yeah.
And it's that fire tiger one too.
Yeah.
But what's so unique about these fish is we always talk about walleyes being a walleye, and I'm never sure what that means because from a migratory perspective, they're so different depending on the water body, and it's almost like they custom make their migratory habits according to the water that they're in.
No, that's true, Gord. I've traveled all over the whole walleye country, and some rules apply, and then there are some things that definitely vary, and when you blend that between what a walleye's behavior pattern is and angler experience and knowledge, you can blend those two and pretty much figure it out,
And you see on the shield lakes that I'm used to, they swim a lot, but they do set up homes. So if our snow machines were humps and points and bars, they rotate almost circular, and they might swim 8-9 miles, but it's all in a very confined area. It's almost like they get to know a spot very, very well, and they relate to those humps and bars. And so on the shield, we see those evening movements and those morning movements, and then they slide off during the day. So it's so different, depending on the contour of the lake. The more structured it is, the tighter stay at home, up and down, out, up and down, and the bigger the water and the less complex the basin, the more they're continually on the move following forage.